Time for iHeartRadio Live with Nathan Willett of Cold War Kids. Here's your host, Emily Curl.
Hey everyone, it's your girl, Emily Curl, and welcome to iHeartRadio Live. We're hanging out today with Nathan from Cold War Kids. Hi, Nathan, how are you?
Hello, doing
Coming
well.
to us from the treehouse. I love it.
I'm in a treehouse in Eagle Rock, Los Angeles.
Right. Do you get a lot of creative things done in this treehouse?
I mean, I should say yes, but this is my first time in this treehouse. I should give you a tour actually at some point. We're at our producer's Carlos's place doing a song right now, and he has a treehouse in his backyard that I thought would be good for this moment.
Well, we're truly honored that we're the first to be in the treehouse doing this interview. And we're also honored to talk to you this week because you have some big news that you're announcing. You're going on a virtual tour. Congratulations. That's so exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Tell us a little bit about this tour. How did you know you wanted to do something like this?
So a few things, like we have been a band for, 15 years now, and we have so much music, and especially these last tours we did even before the quarantine started, we're always trying to kind of work some more of the deep cuts in, and like making a set list, basically make it for an hour and a half at every show is always, it becomes a harder and harder thing. So the idea of dividing this up into 4 shows seemed really special and something that like not every other band could do. And so like a festival set, a deep cut set, a set of the 2 new records, New Age North 1 and 2, and then a set of our first record, Robbers and Cowards. Like it kind of just all made sense. And on top of that, it just seemed almost ridiculous to try to perform that much music. And when you have that much time on your hands to prepare for it, it just was like, yeah, when else are we going to do this? So yeah, it was a big undertaking to learn that much for everyone. And, but it was just really fun and something, I think more than anything, we're just trying to stay busy in ways that are like, safe and be constructive and all that stuff. So. Yeah.
Is something in the treehouse?
Something's creaking a little bit. I think it's just the wind, and it's possible that no one's been in this treehouse for like 20 years. I don't know. Carlos has kids that aren't young anymore, so I might be the first person up here forever. Yeah.
It's exciting. Okay, so you mentioned you have 4 dates, 4 different shows, and I want to break down the dates one by one in 1 second. But before that, I want to talk about, like you mentioned, the prep that goes into creating something like this, especially for so many people who are adapting to a virtual world, even like doing Zoom interviews with iHeart. When you think about creating a virtual tour, where do you even start? What goes into that prep? What does that look like for you guys?
Man, it kind of looked like it was, I think, a while before we arrived at this idea of doing 4 shows that were totally unique, that didn't have like, it wasn't like, obviously we're not the first to do this. A lot of other bands have started doing it, but I think what it looks like is like different shows and a lot of the same songs crossing over and everything. And so, yeah, I think like the very deliberate concept of like, performing whole albums in their entirety, which we've never done, at a venue live. We spent some time trying to whittle down, like, how can we do something that truly all 4 of these are really special? And I feel really good about getting there. And so a lot of the prep was just a lot of rehearsing, and in a way too, I should say, it's like for us, we spend so much of our lives on tour that the many, many months that the 5 of us didn't all see each other was so weird and honestly sad. And so getting together to do this and to have like a big job was like, it's just so fun. We just needed to do it just for our own, sanity. So if nothing else, that had a big part of it.
In this time, that we've all been quarantined, we've all kind of been away, had a change of lifestyle. What is the most surprising thing that you personally have learned about yourself?
Oh my God. Well,
just a light question for you.
Yeah, no, it's good. I think by being a touring musician, you learn like every day is totally different. You're constantly adapting to things that are like, just like whatever's thrown at you, you know? But for me this time, honestly, I guess the serious answer is just like being at home with my family. I have a 6-year-old and a 1.5-year-old daughters. And like, it's just like, whenever I wonder, like, if there's a time that in music, it all sort of ends, like as a lot of musicians do, you just don't know how long it's all going to last. There's chemistry, there's spontaneity and creativity that all needs to stay alive. And so whenever you wonder, like, what if this was all to end? It did. It really ended. So like, so being able to sort of like, there is an existential kind of reckoning that happens. And so being able to be home with my family during this whole time has been amazing. Like it's been really, I think there's definitely some soul searching and it's been really good. We're so fortunate to be doing what we're doing, to be making music and yeah, so I'm just grateful.
Are your daughters, are they at the age, are they going to be watching the virtual tour? Do they understand sort of what you do, and do they get the full?
Yeah, they do. My 6-year-old for sure does. And she like, it's very funny. She's actually there. She's in like it's like a School of Rock type of thing. It's called Kid Row. It's in LA in our neighborhood. And she does like, she's just actually crazy talented. And it's really bizarre sort of starting to watch it. She's playing drums on this one song in her group, and she's singing like, she actually has an insane voice, and it just like watching her even
amazing.
It's that everything sort of cliche that your daughter is like looking at her dad rolling her eyes, and like because she's actually like probably a lot better than me at everything, and I love that. You know what I mean? Where you're like, yeah, you're gonna like give it a couple years, and like everything I'm doing, you're gonna be like way past it. So it's great.
That's amazing. Like father, like daughter. That's awesome. Now I want to go through and break down the different shows. So let's start with the October 10th show. You're playing Robbers and Cowards. And like you mentioned, the first time you're playing the album in its entirety, what song are you most looking forward to playing?
Yeah, there's some on here that, I mean, there's definitely a song or two that we've never played. There are songs.
Oh, really?
Yeah. This was, we never played this record like sort of start to finish in a way that a lot of bands like, you know, kind of make that a thing. Your first record, make it special, tour it. We never did that. And so this is a very rare thing. And I think the song Rubidoux is a song that early on we played a lot. And it was just like, it just has a pulse and a feel. And it like, in rehearsing for this, I'm not typically a very like nostalgic person. I feel like part of what we do is always looking forward. So for this rehearsing of these old songs though, like I definitely felt all the feelings of like having, you know, just like picturing, you know, our younger days of playing in bars and playing, you know, with all of our friends, and like, it was a lot to relive, like, and so yeah, the song Rubidoux definitely like recalls a lot of nostalgia for me, so it's cool.
Because this is the 14th anniversary, right, of this album?
Yeah.
Wild. I mean, yeah, I'm sure that would evoke so many emotions. Is there one song in particular that really like made you feel the feels, as you say?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the last song is called Sermons versus the Gospel. It's a song that is on the first record as kind of like a ghost track, which that's even funny because that's the era of like CDs and, you know, a ghost track, having the patience to see if there's a song in the end, which no one ever would now.
That's so
but yeah, like I recorded that song in our old basement in the house that we used to rehearse in, and like performing that again. It's just like, we've been through so much in so many years. So to look back at those songs now and kind of see that the ways that these songs have elements of something that we're still doing, you know, today in the studio, and we're, these songs gave us a career and a life. And at the time, you know, it just felt like sort of part of the journey, but of course, yeah, it got us where we are. So it's cool.
When you think back to you then, Nathan, that first recorded that album that had the ghost track, and you think of you now, what do you think that old Nathan would think of your career, the success that you all have had, the album still coming out, the virtual tour? What do you think he'd say?
Man, I it's weird because I think we were probably too like a little insecure to even be so audacious to imagine that we would be doing this in 15 years. So I just couldn't have wrapped my head around it. I don't think that that this is our life and that it is like a career and that we get to, that I get to have the freedom to write and record and have a life, have a family. Like there's just a lot of happiness, in what we're doing. So like, I don't even know. I mean, it's funny. I think I would have been a lot more content then to know that I, have what I have now.
It's all going to be okay.
Back then, I was functioning out of fear and anxiety and like,
Right.
oh my God, like what if, what if this all comes crashing down? Now it's kind of like, it's just a joy to be able to do what we do.
And you're releasing new music. So let's talk about the October 25th date. We have New Age Norms 1 and 2. So you're performing both albums to celebrate New Age Norms 2. How do you feel about this night?
I'm thrilled about that. Like this record was a really special one. We did it with producer Sean Everett, and like it was our first time working with him. He has done some of my favorite records. He did, especially the Alabama Shakes record he did, I really think is just one of those albums that I listen to constantly and that I hear sort of everything that I want to do in that record. And so working with Sean was a real pleasure. He's a brilliant person, producer. We got to do kind of exactly what we wanted to do. I think we did a record that was very fun for us to make without really thinking about sort of like whether songs would do great on radio or trying to turn things into songs that might be hits, if you will.
It was just like free flowing, the fun of the music.
Yeah, it was very, I think, just cathartic and fun. Yeah.
What was the inspiration behind this album?
I think that, well, lyrically, this idea of like, I was reading a lot about, there's a writer's name is Joseph Campbell. He talks about like the idea of the hero's journey. And a lot of this stuff always takes shape way after the fact, but like the idea that these 8 songs are sort of like from start to end, the journey of kind of like an artist. And it is, very relevant to a lot of this looking backwards stuff. Like you start off, I think, having a lot of like, arrogance and ambition and an edge to you. And that journey ends with like a sort of being proud and wanting to pass the torch to a younger generation kind of thing. And everything that happens in between. Each one of these songs has like, I think a part of that narrative. And so, that's what was happening lyrically. And then musically, like, I think we were just really loving, I think, like digging into all of the influences that years of being on tour together and backstages and buses and vans, and we listened to the same music. We listened to the Rolling Stones and the Clash and New Order and Happy Mondays and the Smiths and Depeche Mode and all these bands that I'm actually wearing my vintage David Bowie t-shirt.
I was going to tell you, I loved this t-shirt. It was
Thank
cool.
You. Yeah. Sound and Vision, great song. But yeah, so I think like just really a lot of that probably like kind of more 80s British sounds that were more like happening at that time, I think is something that we definitely like leaned into on New Age Norms too.
Awesome. And now, so the next night we have is November 8th. Okay, so the next time we have is November 8th, and this is the one that I feel like I'm most excited about, the festival set, which I feel
Yeah.
like we all need a little bit in our lives. Tell us about this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is the set that we would play at a festival, that if we were playing Lollapalooza, Coachella, Bonnaroo, whatever, all of those sets that we've done so many times and over so many years, you learn how to make a set that is, that works for that type of stage and audience. And usually that just means like, the songs that, that are sort of the biggest and the most, the biggest release. And so, yeah, for us, it means sort of our biggest songs, really. And that just sort of have that, like, especially if you're playing like an hour festival, you want people to be engaged the entire time, and that's like, so you want
That's
like
tough.
hands in the air, you want people going crazy for an hour. That's a hard thing to do. And so, that's how we chose these songs.
For you personally, do you have a favorite festival show that you like to play? Or is there one festival in particular that stands out where you're like, okay, yeah, that was the one for me? Nathan, I think did we lose you for a second?
Sorry,
Okay.
there we go. My like battery thing did the thing.
Okay. I was like, is it my wife?
Festival shows. I mean, we've had so many, but I do think that Coachella, like, we've been able to play a few times, but I think the last time we did a few years ago was that sort of sunset time in the desert, just all the things that probably everybody knows about Coachella, and that really are unique and special. And for us, being from LA and being aware of that festival since its beginning, like, very special memories.
A full circle moment. That's cool. And now our last one, November 22nd, the show Deep Cuts and Fan Favorites. Is there one in particular that you're looking forward to playing for this set?
Let me think about that.
I know it's a tough one.
Yeah. It's okay, so there's a song, Thunder Hearts, that's on the 5 Quick Cuts EP. I'm very excited about playing that. Yeah, some of the songs that don't always get to come out if we're summer tour, festival, and not sort of playing the lesser known ones. But it's like, there's nothing like being able to play songs that the hardcore fans, like, are pumped. They got to see the song that they know doesn't get played every night. Like, that's always a good feeling.
Is there, of all the 4 nights, is there one in particular you're most looking forward to? Or is that like being a favorite kid?
No, it's a good question. I think for me, New Age Norms 2 is like so special to me, and it's, it's always the newest thing that you're most excited about. So yeah, I'm very excited about that.
Awesome. And now, Nathan, before we let you go, what are you hoping that your fans take away from this experience with you, with Cold War Kids, and with the state of the world that we're all in right now?
Let's see what the takeaway. When you watch a band play a festival or in a club, there's an intimacy, but it's usually that it's funny because giving people that little insight into sort of like you're not on a stage. There is a camera there, and it is the 5 of us who haven't seen each other for a long time. So there's a kind of energy that is different. And I hope that is a kind of different, that is like kind of intimate and vulnerable. Mm-hmm. And like, and that I think like it'll be really cool for the fans to kind of see that, what, like our inside jokes, our relationship gets to kind of come through in a way that probably wouldn't as much in a regular show.
Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that, but you're right. You're probably seeing a more up close version of your favorite band perform and like what that dynamic's like on stage.
For sure. I mean, even if, we've done plenty of like, tapings for a late night thing or whatever, but you're not doing that for an hour where, and it's not totally yours. Whereas this is just totally ours. We can do whatever we want. So of course we want to, be natural and be, and interact with each other and and show a little bit about, give people an escape and play all of the songs that they want to hear, but also give them a little bit of us.
I love that. Nathan, thank you so much for being here. We're so excited for the virtual tour and so appreciate your time. For everyone watching, make sure to stream all of Cold War Kids music on iHeartRadio. Nathan, thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Did you like that video? You can check out more over here. And don't forget to subscribe to iHeart right here. And if you're already a longtime fan, make sure you ring the bell down below so you don't miss a single video. Bye guys.